Hello, everybody. It is a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day in more ways than I can list because obviously it's just gorgeous out. And it is, oh, sorry, that's the Staten Island flag waving in front of me, which we do have to change today. I'm overdue in terms of changing it. It is a beautiful day in terms of weather. It's going to be 70 degrees. Carmine and I are going to make a trip to the playground shortly. But this is going to be a very short video because Carmine just went down for a nap, which means we have a very limited amount of time, or I have a very limited amount of time to get stuff done. So I didn't get to sleep much last night, and Carmine, of course, decided to be awake from 3 o'clock in the morning on. But I'm hoping he takes a nice nap here so that I can also take a brief nap, and then maybe after a 20-30 minute nap also have time to get some stuff done. I don't know where to begin. Well, yes, I do. What an incredible game last night. I mean, I know the saying from Tug McGraw 51 years ago. It has become sort of an anthem of Met fans. You gotta believe, but don't you gotta? I mean, wow. Staying alive, brothers. Staying alive. Back to LA we go. In some ways I'm glad there's no game today because I just can't take any more of this. This is such an emotional roller coaster. I tweeted, and you can find me on Twitter at Frank Morano. So I retweeted. Somebody shared. This is Met fans after when they're ahead by 6, and it showed the scene of Ted Stryker from Airplane being all nervous and sweating. That's how it is as a Met fan. You just are always nervous, no matter what the lead is, especially when as soon as you lose, you're done. Season's over. Whatever happens, the Mets have gone farther than anyone ever expected. It is a wonderful season, and it reminds me of that 1999 Mets team a great deal. So hopefully we can pull out a big win tomorrow, and then all bets are off. As my neighbor Greg, who's out now, was saying last night before the game, one game at a time. We win tomorrow, boom, all bets are off. All bets are off. You never know what's going to happen. Hey, tomorrow we have the psoriasis walk. I don't even know if they call it a walk anymore. They call it the Take Action Day. It's at the Bronx Zoo. I just put a link in the comments. If you would make a small contribution, that would be great. My neighbor Nick just arrived. Hey there, Nick. Nice hat. Nice hat. Nice victory last night. Is he wearing a Yankee cap? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's for sure. They're trying to reenact the movie Major League, beating the Yankees. You remember? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Hello, Luca. What are you up to? All right. All right. Nice. All right. Maybe we'll see you outside later. All right. Bye-bye. It's Nicholas and Luca across the street. All right. For anyone watching, please like, comment, and share. Robert Friedman, I'll be watching the game in from Los Angeles. Okay. All right, Robert Friedman. I don't know who you're rooting for, but look, the Dodgers are a great team. And there's no shame in losing to this team because they're incredible. They hit the ball a ton. The pitching last night, notwithstanding, has been on the money. And it seems like no matter where the Mets hit it, they catch them all. You know what I could do I could do with a little less of? Two things. And obviously there's a little bit of bitterness here because we got killed by the Dodgers in all 3 games that we lost. I could do a little less of when the Dodgers players reach second base, them doing this thing that they're doing like they're doing the YMCA. It looks like. At first it was just Ohtani I noticed doing it, but now I guess because Ohtani does it, they all do it. They go, what are they doing? And they do it. And at first I thought this was a thing to get the Dodgers fans riled up and the crowd riled up. They do it everywhere. They do it at Citi Field. So, whatever. All right. Please, if you're watching, Robert Friedman and everybody else, please be so good as to like, comment, and share. The other thing, and if you didn't get to hear yesterday's show, I hope you'll go back and listen to the podcast. I posted a link to the podcast. I'd say Fred Rubino is hysterical. I mean, Vicky Wong, too, very funny. But I've become such a fan of Fred's, and I'm looking forward. I'm glad that he's a regular part of the show, and he's always game for coming in studio because I'd say he, even off air, he makes me laugh like few others do. I find him hysterical. I know some people may not, but I think he's terrific. Stacy, happy Saturday. Go Mets. As a California native, I am wanting another team over than the Dodgers. Yeah. Yeah. He's napping, but we'll probably be out in about 45 minutes. We're thinking of going to the playground, but if you guys are out, we'll play with you. All right. So that's one thing. The other thing, I reiterate everything I said to that caller who called yesterday during Ask Frank Anything, and I hope you will go back and re-listen to what I said. But to that caller who called asking about Pete Alonso, how do they not just give this guy whatever he wants? Any amount of money, even if you have to overpay. Blank check. Give him a blank check. This is crazy. The fact, but I could do with a little less of all these Fox announcers, John Smoltz, the other guy, Joe Davis. Every single time Alonso gets up, this could be the last time that Pete Alonso ever bats at Citi Field. Okay, how many times do you need to say it? We get it. We get it. The contract's up. You don't have to keep going. It's enough. And also, and I know a lot of the Yankee fans are going to be upset about this, I could do with a lot less Derek Jeter and A-Rod commentary. I mean, A-Rod, they clearly know baseball, both of them, and they're okay as analysts. The cheerleading that Jeter is doing for the Dodgers in these pre-games, every single game, enough. Enough of this. No more. No mas. I'll tell you, there's been a lot of complaints, and not just from Met fans. I think Philly fans had the same complaint. Well, maybe not them, because but Brewers, Atlanta. When you get to the playoffs, there's got to be a mechanism for having the local TV announcers continue to call the games, just like how it is on radio. Last night, I was listening to Howie Rose on 880. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure listening to him. They weren't. He didn't need to explain 900 times that Pete Alonso might be leaving. He would just call the game, and it was just wonderful. Here's my proposal. This is a serious proposal. Whatever team makes the World Series, they should get to pick one color commentator. Whatever the other team is that makes the World Series, they get to pick one color commentator, and then whatever network is broadcasting the games, presumably Fox this year or TBS, whatever network's broadcasting the games, they can pick the play-by-play guy. So if the network wants to pick Bob Costas doing the play-by-play, then we get to pick, say, Ron Darling or Keith Hernandez doing color. And the Yankees can pick Michael Kay doing color, whatever. And it's not just that we want an announcer, when I say we, I'm not just speaking for Met fans, I think I'm speaking for all fans. It's not just that the fans want an announcer that's rooting for their team or acting like a little bit of a homer. These announcers don't know anything about what's going on. It's like beat reporting. You know, I've talked about this before, and I'm not going to belabor the point. When I would cover trials, the reporters that were there every day, like me and others, we knew what was going on. We knew the players and everybody else. Then there'd be reporters that would come once a week, once every 2 weeks, or just once. And the difference in their reporting versus all the rest of us was night and day. And I feel that's why I'm such a big advocate of beat reporting in finance, in sports, in politics. I really think it's important to have more beat reporting. For the same reasons that I think it's important to have at least some local color commentator commentating these games, because these are announcers that have no idea what's going on. None. And no matter how, it's not a knock on them because they're human. No matter how much they try, there's no way they're going to get up to speed on all the players and their backstory on both teams in time for you to do the series of games. None. And again, I'm sure the Brewers fans wanted to hear Bob Uecker doing the playoffs when the Brewers were still in it, and not anymore. I'm sure the Braves fans wanted to hear Skip Carey. Does he still do the Braves games? I think he does. It's it's just you need a local person there. It's my end of rant. So please make a contribution to the National Psoriasis Foundation and my efforts tomorrow. Please like, comment, and share. I want to wish a happy birthday to Lena Ignizio, who is 17 today. And I'll tell you, it's so funny because this morning I drove to pick up our car, which my Uncle Steve was kind enough to put together, fix up in his shop. More on that in a second. But when Lena was born 17 years ago today, I'm in the hospital, and I asked her father, Vinny, I said, is there anything that you guys need? And they were getting a lot of visitors, and Vinny says, all right, maybe if you want to go get some pizza or something. Great. Now, I want you to keep in mind where we were 17 years ago. It wasn't as the smartphone era where you immediately just plug your location in and you could find anything and everything that's nearby. So I said, all right, this is Staten Island. There's a pizzeria on every block. I'll walk around the corner, and there'll be a pizzeria. Walk around the corner, no pizzeria. Keep walking, no pizzeria. Keep walking, no pizzeria. None. And then I passed my friend Ron Castorina's law office. And Ron is now a Supreme Court Justice, thank you very much. And I see Ron's law office. I call him up. I said, Ron, I'm in front of your law office, and there's no, I've never walked this much anywhere on Staten Island and not seen a pizzeria. Is there any place to get pizza around here? And he laughed. He said, no. I was just talking to my dad about that. There's no place to get pizza. I was saying, he was saying to me that I was thinking of opening up a pizza shop with him just because there's such a dearth of pizza activity here. All right. So I keep walking and walking and walking. And now I've walked about 35 minutes, no exaggeration. And I finally find a pizzeria. It's called Val's. I order a bunch of pizza pies. I forget how many, 5 or 6. A lot of people there. And I'm thinking, okay, well, am I going to walk back however many miles I just walked, 35 minutes, carrying 6 pizza pies? No. Let me walk back to the hospital while they're cooking the pizza and get my car, drive the car back, and then drive the pizza back to the hospital. So that's what I did. I walked another 35 minutes back to the hospital, got my car, loaded up the pizza, and then drove back to the hospital where now it's hours after they asked me, and people were actually starting to wonder what happened to the pizza. Maybe I was just trying to be nice and had no intention of getting it, but I did actually. And, pizza was had and enjoyed. So this morning, the pizzeria was called Val's Pizza. It's on the North Shore of Staten Island, I think on Castleton, somewhere around there. And it's closed now. So this morning, I'm driving to my uncle's body shop to pick up our car. And then, this is 17 years ago, Felix. You're saying more Chinese and Asian food places than pizza these days, sadly. Not 17 years ago. So I pick up our car, and what do I pass? I pass the former location of Val's Pizza. The sign is still up there. So 17 years later, to the day, I ended up in the exact same spot. Couldn't get pizza because there's no pizza there. By the way, I want to give my Uncle Steve a shout out. New Dimension Auto Body. He saved me probably about $700 or $800 in terms of body work that he did on this car that I damaged. Brand new car, and of course I damage it. So he really went out of his way to fix this car for us at cost. So I'm encouraging everybody to, whenever you have auto body needs, there is nobody that does better work. And obviously he's my uncle, so I'm biased. And he will work with you in terms of prices, even if you're not his nephew. Just mention that I sent you there, and I'm sure he'll take good care of you. So it's New Dimension on Alaska Street on Staten Island. They're certified as, they take every insurance and everything, certified by Geico and everybody else. It's New Dimension, NU Dimension Auto Body, 137 Alaska Street. And by the way, what I'm also going to do is write them a very important, very glowing review on Google, because apparently these Google reviews really affect how how people find your businesses and stuff like that. Oh, John Charles and Deborah are home. Let me wave at them. I know Deborah watches these broadcasts from time to time. So that's that. I want to give a shout out to New Dimension. Happy birthday, Lena. What else did I want to mention to you? You got the NPF tomorrow. I don't know about you, but there are certain things that I have a mental block with. Sometimes it's the spelling of a word. Sometimes it's the history of something. And, sometimes it's just facts. For whatever reason, I can never remember anything about the Boer War. Boer, Boer War. Hey, Deborah. How are you? Can't remember anything about the Boer War. No idea why. I have a mental block. Now, I just looked it up. And now I see that I know when it took place, early 20th century, in Africa, the Boer republics. But for some reason, the part of my brain that remembers anything about the Boer War was lobotomized years ago. So if anyone has a good mnemonic device, maybe turning Boer into an acronym or something like that, that would help me memorize what exactly happened in the Boer War, let me know. Feel free to put it in the comments. Crimean War is another one that I have a little bit of a blind spot with. But for whatever reason, I retain the details of that conflict a little bit more than the Boer War. So that's that. Hey, we got this live event with Elliot Gordon on November 14th. Please buy tickets, because right now no one is buying tickets. It's very embarrassing, because as of now, Elliot and I are going to be speaking to an empty room. And, a few of you bought tickets, so thank you. Ellen, a couple of others. But we're hoping people buy tickets. If you want tickets, just Google Frank Morano and Elliot Gordon, and you can buy some tickets. Elliot is putting on his presentation, which is a tribute to the comedians of the Catskills. And I don't know what I'm doing. So that's that. Today, the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, they are meeting to do their endorsement for mayor of New York City. And I believe that the guy that they're going to endorse is this Queens Assemblyman. I always mispronounce his name, but Zoran Mamdani, I believe, is the proper pronunciation of his name. And I think that this will kind of be his moment. But I think you might see a situation where the DSA and the Working Families Party and the Justice Democrats, who are kind of the three legs of the progressive stool in New York City, all end up endorsing different candidates. So DSA is, I believe my brother Alexander is a member. I'm sure he's going to be at this meeting today. They'll go with Zoran Mamdani. Working Families, I have to think, goes with Brad Lander. And then, I don't know what the Justice Democrats do. Maybe Zellner Myrie, although he's actually not that progressive. If there's a special, and Jumaane Williams as the acting mayor ends up running in the special, I could see the Justice Democrats backing Jumaane Williams. But it's really anybody's game. I'm not entirely ready to count Adams out electorally. Now, I thought Trump's comments at the Al Smith dinner were really interesting. And the fact that he went out of his way to say to Eric, Eric, you're going to win. You're going to win. I don't like what they did to you. I don't like that they're coming after you. They did the same thing to me, the Justice Department. It tells me two things. That if Trump, that reporting earlier in the week, that the Adams campaign strategy of hoping that Trump wins is absolutely true. It seems that that's the case. And two, it tells me that if Trump does get elected, he's going to appoint an attorney general and a U.S. attorney that will drop these charges against Eric Adams, or he'll pardon Adams directly, because that was not humor, what Trump was doing. I mean, there were jokes, and then there was just regular riffing and commentary. The way he went after de Blasio, and the way that he went out of his way to praise Adams, that wasn't jokes. That was absolutely, how he feels, from what I can tell. And from what I'm hearing from folks close to Trump and close to Adams, that's kind of the strategy on the Adams part. I do have to wonder, though, if you're a donor to the Adams Legal Defense Fund, and you see Adams hires this $1,000 an hour attorney, or whatever Alex Spira charges, it's probably something like $1,000 an hour. Don't you have to expect better legal representation than, oh, geez, we hope Trump gets elected? I don't know. Akram Majid writes, when will you and Carmen go to occupied Palestine to kill Palestinian little girls and boys to steal their land? Sidney Rosenberg, you misspelled Sidney. You also misspelled Carmine, who I'm assuming you mean. Sidney Rosenberg has killed 200,000 Palestinians. The world is but a stage, and every man a part to play. We are not planning a trip there, and if we do go, certainly not planning on, killing any Palestinians, or anyone else for that matter. Joanne writes, the Mets games should be on the regular channels for all to see, not just on FX1. Not everyone has it, and a lot of Met fans cannot see it. Not fair. I agree. I mean, I never even heard of Fox Sports 1 before the playoffs. Maybe I did, but I never thought about it. You know what they're trying to do? There's this massive conspiracy to keep me having cable, which my wife is dead set on us doing away with, and doing away with that whatever it is, $60 bill that we now have for cable, internet, and phone. By the way, if you want to send stars, you can do so. We'll put it towards our cable bill. But honestly, if for anybody that's in a giving mood today, I'm encouraging you to use the link that I just posted in the comments for the psoriasis event tomorrow, because I have not been as aggressive in fundraising this year, so I'm very behind what I normally do. And thank you to everyone that's donated. I know Al Curtis made a contribution, Neil Schimler made a contribution, Ellen Metzger made a contribution, my mom made a contribution. Thank you to everybody that donated. But for everybody else, please donate. Even if it's $5 or $10, it's a help. It shows, that at least I'm making an effort. It's funny. They asked me just last week. So here was our game plan, because tomorrow is also our nephew Charlie's baptism in Eastern Long Island. So our game plan was always to go to the Bronx Zoo, which is where the event is tomorrow, and then drive out to Long Island for the baptism. That was always the plan. So then 4 or 5 days ago, the folks at the National Psoriasis Foundation asked me to MC. Sorry about the wind chimes. The flag is hitting the wind chimes. I'm going to take that down shortly. And I forwarded the email to Rachel. I said, oh, is this cool? Well, I'd have to get there at 9:30 and all like. And she says, yeah, fine. So then they send me the itinerary, and it looks like it's the whole itinerary is not going to be over until about 12 or so. So, I will probably not be able to make Long Island, because we just committed to emceeing. Rachel said when she said that the timing was okay, she didn't realize that it was going to be that late in the day. But I can't uncommit since I just committed. So, that's that. So it looks like I may not be able to make little Charlie's baptism, which I hate to do. See that original sin wiped away. We'll see. If anybody is going to the event tomorrow in the Bronx and then going out to Eastern Long Island after, let me know. And maybe I'll hitch a ride. I'll pay for tolls or gas or something. hopefully with the stars contributions that you guys sending. Joanne says she loves the wind chimes. You know what that is, Joanne? Those are the sounds of any town, USA. All right, I am going to try and take a nap. I might have gotten too worked up talking about the announcer difficulties. I'm hoping if you watch this, you will like, comment, and share. And listen to the podcast from Friday if you haven't had a chance to do so yet. I thought it was a really interesting show. Ask Frank Anything, Denunciations, Vicky Wong. Carmine is sleeping, as you can see. Hopefully that's a decent sized nap, and then he and I are going to go to the playground. Those of you that are on the South Shore of Staten Island, maybe I'll see some of you at the playground. Anybody else have any questions, comments, thoughts? I don't think so. Okay. Please like, comment, and share. Subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to the Facebook page if you haven't. It is the best 99 cents a month you will ever spend. If you were a subscriber, you know what you would have seen Friday? You would have seen the live behind-the-scenes video of Vicky Wong, Fred Rubino, and I in studio during the show. So that was well worth the price of admission. Just ask John Bianchino, who chimed in. I think chimed. All right. I'll see you on the radio.